Okay, now let's start exploring lines and angles, one at a time. Imagine you're drawing on a piece of paper. When you make a tiny dot with your pencil, that dot is like a point. It's so small that you can't measure its size. It only shows a specific spot on your paper. In math, we use points to mark position or locations. Even though we can't see a point's size or shape, it helps us understand where something is. For example, if you're plotting points on a graph, each point tells you where something is located. Now, let's understand what is a point. A point is a precise location in space that has no size, length, or width. It is often represented by a small dot. Points are often named with letters like A, B, or C, so we can easily talk about and refer to them. Now, let's understand what is a line. In math, we use lines to represent paths and connections between two points. Since a line has no thickness, you cannot measure its width, just its length. When we talk about lines, we often use arrows on both the ends to show that they continue infinitely on both ends. Think of a line like a never-ending straight road. Even if you can't see where it ends, you know it keeps going. Now let us understand in details what a line is. A line is a straight path that extends infinitely in both directions. It has no endpoints and no thickness. If you look at the upper figure, you can see that the endpoints are marked with arrows, showing that they can be extended infinitely on either side. Now, line is represented or shown as a straight path with arrows on both ends. These arrows indicate that the line extends infinitely on both directions. To name or label a line, we use 2 points that lie on the line. For example, if you have a line that passes through the point A and B, it is written as AB. The arrow on the top shows that the line goes on forever in both directions. Now let us understand what is a line segment. Think of a line segment like a piece of string that you can measure. It starts at one point and ends at another. For example, if you draw a straight line between 2 points, say E and F, the part of the line between these 2 points is called the line segment. In the figure below, there is a straight line AB that extends on both directions and can go on forever. However, if you look at the figure below, you will see that there is a line AB with arrows at the end indicating that it is a straight line which can go on forever. And on this line, there are 2 points C and D which are fixed. The space between C and D is called the line segment. Hence, a line segment is a part of a line that has two endpoints. Unlike a line, it does not go on forever. It only extends from one endpoint to the other. So in the above figure, CD is a fixed part of the line AB. To label a line segment, you use the two endpoints. For example, a line segment connecting the point C and the point D is written as CD. The line above the letters, which is this, shows that it is a line segment and not a full line. For a full line is written in this manner. Let us now understand the different types of lines. We will start with the straight line. A straight line is the shortest distance between 2 points. It extends infinitely in both directions without curving. In the figure below, A and B are 2 points through which the line passes. Now let us understand what is a horizontal line. A horizontal line is parallel to the horizon. It runs left to right. It does not tilt up or down. It remains level and is perpendicular to the vertical lines. So now, what are vertical lines? Vertical lines are straight lines that goes straight up and down. It is perpendicular to the horizontal line and it does not slant. It goes straight up or down. The next type of line that we have are called parallel lines. If you look at the figure below, parallel lines are equidistant. That is, they have the same distance from each other and never intersect, no matter how far you extend them. In the figure below, you have two straight lines A, B, and CD. No matter how much you produce A or B or C or D, they are never going to intersect each other at any point. So these kind of lines are called parallel lines. Now let's understand what are intersecting lines. Intersecting lines cross each other at a point, as in this figure. The point where they meet is called the intersection point or the point of intersection. And they create angles at this intersection. So if you have a look at the figure below, you will see that the two lines AC and DB intersect each other at the point O, which is the point of intersection, and it forms four angles at this point: A, O, B, angle D, O, C. The next angle is C, O, B, and D, O, A. Now let us understand what are diagonal lines, also called slanting lines. A diagonal line is neither horizontal nor vertical, but it slants at an angle to the horizontal or vertical lines, and it does not run parallel to either of them. In the figure below, the line OA is a diagonal line. So you see that it is neither parallel to the horizontal line and neither parallel to the vertical line, but it is at an angle to both of them. Next, let us understand what are perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines are two lines that intersect each other at right angle, which is 90 degree. Two lines are perpendicular if they meet or cross each other to form four right angles at their point of intersection. So you see that in this figure, AB and CD intersect each other at the point O, which is called the point of intersection. And if you measure these angles at this point, you will see that each one of these angles is at 90 degree. Such lines are called perpendicular lines. Understand two more interesting lines. Concurrent lines. Concurrent lines are three or more lines that intersect at a single point. The common point where they intersect is known as the point of concurrency. Now let us understand what are curved lines. A curved line changes direction gradually and does not have any straight segments. Unlike a straight line, a curved line bends smoothly and can have various shapes like circle or arcs. Now that we know what are lines, what are the different types of lines, let us now understand what are angles that are formed by the combination of these lines. So first and foremost, let's understand what is an angle. An angle is formed by two rays or line segments that share a common endpoint known as the vertex. The space between these two rays or line segment is measured in degrees. Angles are fundamental in geometry and are used to describe the orientation and relationship between lines and shapes. So in the figure below, you see that the two lines meet at this common vertex, forming the angle. Let us understand the different types of angles. Let us start with the acute angle. Acute angle is an angle that measures less than 90 degree. For example, a 45-degree angle is an acute angle. If you look at the figure below, it shows an angle which is less than 90 degree. Hence, AOB is an acute angle. Next, we have the right angle, an angle that measures exactly 90 degree. It forms a perfect square corner. In the figure given below, angle AOB is at 90 degrees and is called the right angle. Now let's understand what is an obtuse angle. An angle that measures more than 90 degree but less than 180 degree. For example, a 120 degree angle is an obtuse angle. In the figure given below, we have two lines A and B meeting at a common point O. Hence, we have the angle AOB. If we draw a right angle from the point O, we will see that the angle in the purple is greater than this, which means it is greater than 90 degree. So this kind of an angle is called an obtuse angle. So in this figure, angle AOB is an obtuse angle. Now let's understand what is a straight angle. An angle equal to 180 degrees. It forms a straight line. So in the figure given below, the two lines OB and OA meet at the point O, where it forms an angle of 180 degrees. So OAB is also called a straight angle. Next, we have the reflex angle. A reflex angle is an angle that measures greater than 180 degree but less than 360 degrees. In the figure below, you will see that the angle BOA is greater than 180 degree, that is 225 degrees. The next angle is a complete angle. It is an angle that measures 360 degree. In the figure below, you will see that two lines OA and OB move in the same direction from a common vertex O, forming an angle at this vertex which is equal to 360 degree. Such kind of an angle is called a complete angle. Based on angle pairs, we have different types of angles. The first one being the complementary angles. Now, complementary angles are angles whose sum is 90 degree. For example, 25 degree and 65 degree are called complementary angles. For when you add them, you get a total of 90 degrees. Next, we have the supplementary angles. Now, these are two angles whose sum is equal to 180 degree. For example, 110 degree and 70 degree. They are called supplementary angles. For when you add them, you will get 180 degree. Now remember, they may lie on the same line or may be two separate angles altogether. As long as their sum is 180 degree, they are called supplementary angles. The next one is called the adjacent angles. Now, two angles that have a common vertex and common arm but do not overlap are called adjacent angles. In the figure given, BC is the common arm between the angles ABC and DBC. Next, we have the linear pair. Now, a pair of adjacent angles that are supplementary, that is, they add up to 180 degree and lie on a straight line is called a linear pair. Now, you must remember that there is a difference between supplementary angles and linear pair angles. Now, supplementary angles and linear pair angles are related concepts. However, they have their differences. Now, we know that supplementary angles are two angles that together give you a sum of 180 degree, whereas a linear pair also adds up to give you a sum of 180 degree. However, The difference lies in their position. Now, a supplementary angle may lie on the same straight line or may be two separate angles altogether. However, the two angles in a linear pair are adjacent, that is, they will always share a common vertex and a common arm. And this is the basic difference between a linear pair and supplementary angles. Now, let us understand the vertically opposite angles. When two lines intersect, they form two pairs of opposite angles at the point of intersection, which are equal to each other. Such angles are called vertically opposite angles. In the figure, angle A and angle B are vertically opposite angles. With this, we come to the end of learning about lines and angles. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more educational videos.